speech delivered by His Excellency Professor Yemi Osinbajo, SAN, GCON, Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria at the 2022 Workers' Day Rally themed Labour, Politics and the Quest for Good Governance and Development at Eagle Square, Abuja on the 1st of May 2022. They can love title. Hey, 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 GCON, SAN, this and that, this and this. You can imagine. Do the work, it's a wala. They just want the title. And they will organize, say things, but let them come and do it. They'll begin to tell you, giving you excuses, cock and bull stories. Well, he said, I am honored to be here on this special day set aside to celebrate and honor Nigerian workers. Every Nigerian worker, male and female, the labor movement is a foundational movement in the making of our nation. That is what they will tell you. But see, workers are suffering. Some people have not collected 2, 3, 4 months, 6 months salary. Some are even on modulated salaries. They pay them half. They just modulate everything. And on the day of labor like this, the labor day, they will speak grammar. What they say, governors or all these leaders, they will speak grammar. After today, after this event, forget it. It will end there. Nobody's going to remember anything. They will just prepare the speech for you to hear what they will tell you what you would love to hear. And that's what they are saying. They will praise you to high heavens. But at the end of the day, nothing will happen. You are heads of a movement that was involved in literally building modern Nigeria. See now, they don't they push them, they don't they praise them. Well, over a century ago, the Nigeria working class laid the railway tracks and erected telegraph poles connecting the vast reaches of a country that was about to be born. Indeed, it is impossible to tell the story of our nation's liberation from colonial rule without dwelling at length on the heroic contributions of the labor movement to that struggle. The struggle for fairness and equity in relations between the employer and the worker, and the campaign for the dignity of the Nigerian worker in the colonial era were closely bound up with the quest for independence. Some would say that both struggles were two sides of the same coin. For just as the Nigerian worker sought to be accorded equal rights in his own land, the nationalist movement sought to break the yoke of colonialism and transform our people from justice to citizens. Yeah. In the epic struggle, the Nigerian working class was the army of the nationalist movement. We remember the 1945 general strike and the Eva Valley massacre in 1949, in which striking miners seek their rights were killed by colonial authorities. These are watershed events in the evolution of our nation. Names such as those of Pa Michael Imodu, Malam Aminu Kano, Ndukaizi, Efo Koka EE, Eswa and M.A. Bankole, among others, are seared into the national memory. They belong to iconic figures in the labor movement who played critical roles in our quest for liberation from colonial rule. When we sing a national anthem and proclaim that the labors of our heroes past shall never be in vain, we are invoking the memory of legions of patriotic agitators, among whom were leading lights of the labor movement. But therefore, the Nigerian worker in every real sense laid the foundations of our sovereignty and freedom with their blood and tears, and nurture it till this day with their sweat and zeal. So the 1st of May is a day laden with historical significance, and the importance of this occasion is further underscored by the fact that it is the last May Day celebration before a national election. In commemorating this event, there is much to reflect upon, and the theme you have chosen for this occasion invites us to ponder on labor politics and the quest for good governance and development. Given the season that we are in, this is entirely appropriate. The question that the theme calls for is, what sort of politics can best deliver good governance and development? In addressing this question, let me begin to or by stating unequivocally that the labor movement belongs firmly to the progressive political persuasion. I will repeat that. The labor movement belongs firmly to progressive political persuasion. In the days of the anti-colonial struggle, Labour pitched its tent with progressive nationalist forces. Historically, by reason of the ideological kinship shared by both camps, Labour has always made common cause with the progressives. Indeed, it is impossible to separate both. Progressives have been left of center and pro-labor, while labor has always been, of course, left of center and progressive. This is an important observation because 7 years ago, an alliance of progressive, the All Progressives Congress, made history when it became the first opposition party to defeat a ruling party against all odds and secure a national victory at the polls. It was a watershed moment for our nation because until the momentous event, the progressive tendency had been the neglected cornerstone of our nation's history. The question of what sort of policies can deliver good governance and development is decisively answered by progressive policies. As a progressive, I believe that good governance and development mean compulsory free education for the unlettered, universal healthcare coverage, inclusion for the alienated, social mobility for the poor, justice for the wronged, and social security for the vulnerable. The progressive vision of Nigeria is of a nation in which the relations between the government and the governed are defined by a social covenant. It is of a society in which no Nigeria is left behind. It is of a canopy of inclusive and broad-based prosperity in which the security and the welfare of each citizen are guaranteed. This administration has embarked upon the most ambitious program of social protection in sub-Sahara Africa. We are catering for our children through the homegrown school feeding. Hey! School feeding program which feeds about 9.5 million Nigeria children daily, and for our unemployed youth through programs such as Empower scheme. Over 4 million people have benefited from the government empowerment and enterprise program and other support initiatives under the National Social Investment Program. Can you imagine these people? Can you imagine all this grammar, all this grammar that they are speaking when they are saying all this on a just be surprised. Just be surprised. Just be surprised. And talking about a economy, they said they have done well. Talking about security, they said they have done well. Now, what they are telling us that Osinbajo is trying to tell us that if he elected, that the issue of a up Nepa, that means there is going to be 247 power supply. Like seriously, all of the things that he has talked about. Ask me how have all of those things increased our GDP? Loriro. Now still Loriro, they're telling you that concerning security everything is bam bam, but they're just having some isolated cases left here and there. Oh, economy, the children are fine, they are learning well, but this guy will not tell you about household that is on strike. They will not tell you about those who are still in the den of the kidnappers. He's telling us by the time he's being voted in, he will that there will be nothing like a up Nepa chorus. Give Nigerians, it will give Nigerian broadband internet. So what? Hey, we don't hear them. So guys, let's hear your opinion because I don't want to dwell in all this talk that these guys are occupying Nigerians with.